Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Couchbrotatopodcast. Producer Adam joins me on today's show to talk about the movie that you guys and gals voted for in our latest fan poll. That's right, we are talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, which just turned 20 years old back in July. So we're going to dig into that one a little bit here, open up the treasure chest, if you will, talk about all the fun stuff from a very fun movie. So after the trailer, we present to you Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
The curse has been unleashed.
We're not facing normal pirates.
The forces are gathering.
Here there be monsters.
And the battle between good and evil is about to begin.
Here they come.
Pirates of the Caribbean, rated PG-13, starts this Wednesday.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Couch Potato Podcast. My name is Russ, and joining me on today's show is producer Adam. Adam, I know earlier on you sent me via text message you weren't feeling very well, so I appreciate you soldiering through. You said had a stomach bug. You said it could have been Subway affecting you. I'm blaming it on Subway. Maybe use it as blackmail. I don't know how you feel about that, but are you doing well? Doing okay?
I'm doing well. I'd feel better if I got some money from Subway. So I'm all for blackmailing.
I'm going to put it on the socials that you soldiered through this. You were a champion despite Subway food poisoning. So either we could get $1 million a piece from Subway, they could sponsor the show, or free sandwiches for life.
Excellent.
Either way, I mean, I don't know how you feel. I usually don't eat food that has caused me to get sick. I am currently at war with the folks at Chipotle for the same reason. Never got sick. They started giving out those free coupons to people to get them to come back because their food was giving people bad cases of food poisoning. And then lo and behold, I got food poisoning from a free Chipotle burrito that they were giving out because their food was giving people food poisoning.
Yeah, see, that's
fucking poetic. Charles Dickens couldn't write a better story than that. So Subway, if you're listening, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm not going back to Subway anytime soon either. So.
Okay,
unless there's free stuff, and then
yeah. So, Subway, if you're listening, and I hope you are, $1 million a piece, sponsorship of this show, or free sandwiches for life. Those are the conditions. One of those three, we're golden.
Excellent.
We are convening today. We're doing a little movie podcast, and we put this up for you guys and gals to vote on. We had 4 choices up, ran it a couple days. We had Tropic Thunder. We had Godzilla, and Adam went super dark and wanted to put Schindler's List up as a potential episode. I'm so glad that one didn't win. It's a fantastic movie, but I couldn't watch it.
It's really tough to watch. I mean, it is 30 years old this year, so I mean, and it's an excellent movie. It's very necessary, I guess, is a good word for what it is.
It would have felt really weird trying to come up with I said forget about it, for the best line, whether good or bad, line of the movie. That would have been really weird to come up with that for Schindler's List.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or the highlight reel.
What's that sketch show with Ricky Gervais? We'd
extras.
We'd have to give the honorary best line to "I like to make lists."
Yeah,
because we We can do that.
I'm so glad that that one didn't win. Actually, I got a text message from a mutual friend of ours that said that that was the movie that we should do because the rest of our choices sucked.
Well, see, not a lot of people like Godzilla, and I understood that, but I had to give it a shot.
Yeah. Um, the reason we put those four movies for you to pick, they all celebrate some kind of milestone anniversary. Schindler's List, as we said, was
30.
30. Godzilla was 25.
98. So yeah,
Okay.
25.
We had Tropic Thunder on the list. That was that was 2013, wasn't it? No, it's 2008. So
yeah.
that would be that'd be 15 years old. And then the last choice we had was the movie that we're doing today. The one that you guys and gals voted for was Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl, which turns 20 years old. Well, actually, it just turned 20 back in July, so we're a little late, but still celebrating an anniversary nonetheless. But I thought they were good choices. I was actually surprised that Tropic Thunder didn't win. I thought for
Tropic
sure
Thunder,
that would have.
yeah.
When I maybe I could see why it would have been a. It's a movie that in today's society doesn't age too well.
Now, I actually saw an article about that today as well. But as un-PC as it was very successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll revisit that one down the road. Maybe we'll just say fuck it, throw caution to the wind, and do it.
I know that's the one that Jenna wanted us to do, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
Pirates.
Well, we'll make it a pack now. Tropic Thunder will happen at some point.
Okay.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday. But I'm excited to do this one. Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. It had been a while since I watched it, so of course, in only the fashion I know how to watch a movie, it took me 3 nights to watch it because I would fall asleep on the couch or the chair. Not saying that the movie's bad, it just I think I'm old, and I've hit that point in my life to where I'm just an old man now, and I fall asleep super easy for anything. So for you, when was the first time you seen Pirates?
It was when it released. I saw it at a drive-in theater. I believe I was in high school, and yeah, it was a really, really good time. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I remember seeing the trailers, and I got super annoyed at the trailer because they showed like a really long shot of them walking through the water, and it was always on during something I was watching on TV. It was just like, come on, get on with it. I get it. They're walking through the water. But that scene ends up being one of the coolest scenes in the movie.
Right.
So,
I know.
Yeah, I remember watching it back in 2003.
I didn't check it out until it hit DVD. We, I both eventually, that's how we met, but working at Best Buy at the time when it was, they sold movies in the stores. They used to have like their big, every Tuesday would be the new releases that would come out. And usually, I don't know why, I just found myself having to buy each new release that came out. And I remember when this came out in theaters, I really didn't have a strong desire to see it because Disney, I think, had attempted the theme park movie at least twice before this, because I know they did the Country Bears, because that's in my research notes. And then wasn't Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion before this too?
I thought it was after, because I do remember thinking like, oh, they're trying to do the whole movie right, or the ride into movie thing again, and pretty sure it's after.
Well, I'm going to look it up. But between that and I was one of the I think I was probably one of the 10 people that actually paid money to see Cutthroat Island in theaters when it came out. For those of you that don't know, Cutthroat Island was a pirate movie that released, I think it was like 95. but it essentially bankrupted Carlico Pictures, which was responsible for Terminator 2. They did Basic Instinct, Total Recall. I mean, they had a bunch of big hits, so that goes to show you how much money they sank into Cut Third Island, that it bankrupted the entire studio. And I've kind of pirate movies left a sour taste in my mouth after that. It seemed like it actually did that for a lot of people, because after Cut Third Island, if I'm not mistaken, this is like the first legitimate pirate movie since then.
Yeah, I can't think of a solid one between these two. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to bring back no, Haunted Mansion actually came out the same year as this.
Wow,
it came out in November 26, 2003. So Disney was trying to hedge its bets by developing theme park rides in the movies.
Yeah, I think and this is just me speculating here. It's probably in somebody's trivia, not mine, but I bet you they were just banking on putting these out as popular IP so they could revamp their rides and get people into the theme parks. You know?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I got a tidbit about the Country Bears. I think that was their first attempt at that, and I don't think anybody's seen the Country Bears. So more people seen Cut Third Island than they did Country Bears.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they decided to do a pirate movie, because, like you said, pirate movies weren't like super profitable, and I think the last pirate movie that I remember Disney doing was Blackbeard's Ghost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another little bit of trivia in a minute. There was a notorious actor that got offered a role in this movie, and he turned it down because he felt that pirate movies were box office poison, and he wanted no part of it. And then he decided to take a role later on in a later movie because he passed on this one. So
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
we'll save it for the trivia portion.
Yeah. But yeah, this seemed to kick off kind of the pirate renaissance for a little bit, because we got, pirates. They did 5 of them. They did Master and Commander, which is not a pirate movie per se, but it's kind of like a swashbuckling movie, which I will say to this day, best old-timey England boat ship movie, Master and Commander, is by far the best of anything that's come out.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Such a good movie. Damn, should have fucking put that one on the list too. But I don't think anyone would have voted for it. Probably would have gotten as many votes as Schindler's List.
Yeah.
But this movie kicked off a bit of a renaissance for pirate movies, and I think the bigger story is it took Johnny Depp, who was a pretty successful actor. I mean, I would say he was probably an A-list star. I mean, he pretty much could put his name in above the marquee of a movie, and I mean, he would sell the movie, but he wasn't what I'd say like an A++ list actor. He wasn't a guy that you could put in a movie and like, okay, this is going to be $100 million grossing movie. This seemed to kick off him probably being the biggest star in Hollywood for about 4 or 5 years, because he went on quite a successful run of movies after the pirate. This one debuted, anyways.
Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Alice in Wonderland. Trying to think of. Did he do Secret Window after this?
What's that?
Did he do Secret Window after this?
No, Secret Window was before this. I'm just going to run down his IMDb of what he did after this, because he was on quite a stretch there for a bit, and then of course now with the stuff with him and Amber Heard, he's kind of, I think he's below Nicolas Cage territory. He's making, like, I haven't really seen him in anything, but he started a movie where he was investigating the notorious B.I.G. murders.
Oh.
I don't know if he was like a detective or a news reporter or what, but yeah, from 2003. No, you were right. He was Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. He was in the third El Mariachi movie, the Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which he pretty much steals that movie from everybody.
Yeah.
He did Secret Window. He did Finding Neverland, which I believe he was nominated for an Academy Award for. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He was in The Corpse Bride. They did. Oh, I forgot about this. They did 2 Pirates movies back to back.
Oh, did he?
They did Dead Man's Chest and then At World's End. I think they came out in the same year. Then he did Sweeney Todd, which awesome musical. I'm not a big musical fan, but I was a fan of that one. I think he got nominated for an Oscar for that one. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. I think he was one of the replacements for Heath Ledger, because Heath was in that and he passed away. Public Enemies, Alice in Wonderland, The Tourist, which I think was kind of a modest hit with him and Angelina Jolie. Rango, which is a fucking awesome animated Western movie.
Oh, yeah.
Love Rango. The Pirates of the Caribbean: On Stranger Tides. That was 2011. And, of course, it starts to go downhill after that. Because he had did Dark Shadows, which was a pretty big bomb. He did The Lone Ranger, which is a huge dud. He did that Mordecai movie, which to this day, that movie makes no fucking sense to me at all. Black Mass, where he was James Whitey Bulger, the infamous Boston mobster. That was a pretty solid movie. But then he did the Alice in Wonderland sequel, and
which was bad.
Yeah, it kind of goes downhill for him after that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he was probably the biggest star in Hollywood for a while. It's kind of funny how his career has gone. He went from being a reliable leading man. I would say he would be the guy that you would cast if you couldn't get like a Tom Cruise or a Will Smith or, like an A++ guy. But you were still confident if you kept the budget down, he was going to be the movie was going to be profitable. And then he becomes this A-lister. And now he's like pretty much unhireable, which I'm not going to get into the stuff with Amber Heard. All I know is she apparently shit in his bed. He was. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah, she did.
And then he was accused of domestic violence, which no one could really prove who was the guilty party. I think he was found innocent, and it's kind of blacklisted him.
Yeah. Although, from what I hear, some of the stuff that she said he actually did. So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and he's ran into a lot of legal problems. I know he had squandered quite a bit of the money that he had made throughout his career, living very lavishly. And it's almost like he was banking on, like, I think he knew that eventually his run was going to be over. So I think he was going to start doing what Nick Cage did, where he would just start putting out shit for a paycheck.
Yeah.
But that's incredibly sad though, man. Like, I know he was awfully good for a long time, and it's just kind of funny how, something like this happens. You just meet the wrong person, you two just don't mesh, and then your career's pretty much in the shitter after that.
Yep. He really, or should I say, Amber Heard really shit the bed on this one.
Yeah, she did. Well, he did too, because he hooked up with her.
But she literally, pooped in his bed.
Anyways. Yeah, for the longest time, it took me like, what the hell's all these poop memes about? And then I had to actually research it, like, oh, well, she shit in his bed. But nonetheless, we can still separate the artist from the person. So, not to say that this still isn't an enjoyable movie, revisiting it. Although I do, looking at it now, it takes a little time to get going. Like, I remember when I watched it on DVD, like, being like, I was like, oh, this movie's fucking awesome. But then watching it the this last time is like it takes a little bit to get going. It's like a stew. It's like, okay, you let it sit there percolate for a while, and then like the end product is great, but it's waiting around for it all day is the shitty part.
Yeah. And I was saying before the podcast too, like I think it was just a product of the time. Like we were saying before, a lot of pirate movies didn't really mesh with the audiences during this time that it came out. And then when you mix, actiony pirate movie with these CG effects, you get kind of lightning in a bottle with the newer crowds, the adolescents and whatnot, and then they start to like pirates a little bit more. So
I will say that the special effects in this hold up incredibly well.
Yeah, they really do.
It's like when last movie we did was Jurassic Park, I believe, and yeah, I mean those. It's funny that movies that are this old, the special effects seem to look much better than the movies that we're currently getting.
I think it's because they mixed them with practical effects too. But even so, you get the occasional bad shot in the movie. Like in I can't really think of one in Jurassic Park, but in this one, I didn't like when they kind of did a close up on Elizabeth Swann at the beginning when she's little, and kind of like pushed the camera in towards her because you can tell that's a CG model and not a real person.
Yeah. When the pirates, like when they turn into their ghost, I was that underwater battle that they have with Norrington and basically the finale, like the last act of the movie, it still looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, hey, let's knock out some of these categories while we're here. Enough of the chit chat. I thought Pirates was good, but it seems like though. This is the only good, like to me, this is the only good movie of the franchise, though. Like, I think that they got progressively worse as they made more of them.
Yeah, I would agree for the most part. Dead Man's Chest was all right, and then like they kind of went downhill. The last one was a fun Pirates movie again, I think, because stop being so hard on Johnny Depp, which, I mean, he's the star of the. But like, I think that they didn't give enough of the other characters some room to. So it was literally the Johnny Depp show after a while, and then like, this last movie. I think it's the one with Javier Bardem as the bad guy.
Yeah,
it turned out to be pretty fun.
Well, that's one thing that I noticed about it too. Is it seemed like the first movie really wasn't a Jack Sparrow movie. It was essentially Will Turner trying to save Elizabeth from these pirates, and the Jack Sparrow character happens to be like this side character that helps Will fulfill his quest.
Yeah.
And I think that might be why I think they became too reliant on him. It's like in basketball when like, the sixth man becomes like, he has to take somebody's spot for a few weeks, and then like he goes on this heater and ends up becoming a starter, and then like it seems like the team kind of fails because this guy's not in the role that he should be in, and it's affecting the rest of the team. So it's kind of like that to me, anyways.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to sidetrack that before we got into the categories. But yeah, it's like I don't know. I need to go back and revisit 5. But I've watched some of the other ones, and like the only character that I really dug in the rest of those was Davy Jones.
Yeah.
I remember we seen Dead Man's Chest at a drive-in. It just reminds me of a funny story at the end. And I'm not spoiling this. This movie came out a long time ago. If you haven't seen Dead Man's Chest, then that's on you. But at the end when Captain Barbossa comes back, the couple that we were with, the guy got super fucking excited that Barbossa appears. He goes, "Fuck yes, it's Barbossa!" Just yells it right in the middle of the.
See, I agree with him though, because Barbossa's my favorite character in the entire franchise. Everybody likes Jack Sparrow. Barbosa's the most piratey pirate, though, and I like him a lot.
I agree that was a very good bit of casting. And actually, before we started this, I debated on whether we should do this episode in our pirate voices.
Oh God, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't, because like my throat would be fucking raw about 30 minutes into this. But yeah,
Either that or I'd try a bad Jack Sparrow impression, and I'm not doing.
no, I think my pirate accent would be more like the sea captain from The Simpsons,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which I think Jeffrey Rush borrows a little bit of. Maybe not intentionally. Maybe he has no idea who that sea captain is from The Simpsons, but he's got sea captain vibes, at least in the voice.
He does.
I was just like, the first time I've seen it, I'm just waiting for like, I'm not attractive. Yeah, all right. Enough shenanigans. Let's get into the categories. The Tale of the Tape, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl was released on July 9th, 2003. This stars Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, Jeffrey Rush, and Jonathan Pryce. Directed by Gore Verbinski. A Rotten Tomatoes score of 80% from critics and 86% from audiences. A worldwide box office take of $654 million worldwide. Was also shocked when I've seen this. This was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. Yeah, all of them technical, but Johnny Depp got a Best Actor nomination for this.
Okay.
And this movie is streaming currently, along with the entire Pirates of the Caribbean catalog on Disney Plus. So if you want to revisit the series, you can watch it on Disney Plus. Which, yeah, I've seen it. The $654 million worldwide. I believe Dead Man's Chest was one of the first movies to crack $1 billion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what got the rest of them greenlit, was the fact that it did so much money.
Yeah, I think that I read, and hopefully it's not like stepping on any of your trivia, but I think I read that it's in the top 10 highest grossing franchises of all time at number 10.
Yeah, it is. It's the 10th highest gross. It was in my fun facts, but I've got so many here. It's really not a big deal. Yeah, this was Pirates is like the 10th highest grossing film franchise of all time, which I think
it's a nice thing to have.
I think the last one was the lowest grossing of the entire series, if I'm not mistaken.
It probably was. After number 4 kind of soured me on the thing. Number 4 was bad, really, really bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I was like, wow, Johnny Depp got an Oscar nomination for this. It seemed like it was that time where if he puts out a movie that was remotely successful at the box office, it's like, all right, just give him a fucking Oscar nomination. It's almost like it's written in his contract. The scouting report, which these are fun facts about the movie. This one I found to be very interesting, that this was the first movie under the Walt Disney Pictures banner to be rated PG-13.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which Disney, for the longest time, they owned Hollywood Pictures and they owned Touchstone, which that seemed to be their more adult oriented wing of their film division. Touchstone, of course, did like, I know they did a lot of the Bruckheimer stuff, like The Rock and Gone in 60 Seconds and those movies. And Hollywood Pictures was kind of like the low rent division. They did like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which was a big hit for them. They did that Bruce Willis sex movie Color of Night, which we got to see too much of Bruce Willis of. But yeah, first time they'd ever done a PG-13 movie with the Walt Disney Pictures banner on it, which I guess the good thing is that led to them doing Star Wars. It led them to doing the Marvel stuff. So, but I don't think I was under the Walt Disney banner. While they were developing Pirates of the Caribbean, they were not sure if they wanted to give this movie a theatrical release or release it to direct to DVD, which Disney was doing quite a bit of during this time. A lot of their sequels, they did a lot of animated sequels. to movies that they would just dump them straight to DVD. But this also, them not being sure, I guess, led to they didn't know how they were going to cast the movie. So they had, if this was going to be a theatrical release, Matthew McConaughey, Robert De Niro, Jim Carrey, and Hugh Jackman were all considered for the role of Jack Sparrow if they decided to go theatrical with this. I guess producers really liked Hugh Jackman, but he wasn't a known name at the time outside of Australia, so they didn't want to give him that big of a role, so they passed on him. And then I guess De Niro was actually offered Jack Sparrow, but he turned it down because he thought that pirate movies were poison, and he wanted no part of it, which later on, I guess that's what led him to accept the role of a captain in Starlight, which I've never seen.
Neither am I.
But yeah, it led him to take that role on. And then if they decided to go direct to DVD, they went with Christopher Walken or Carrie. Is it Carrie Elwes? Carrie Ewells? I've heard 3 or 4 different ways to pronounce this. I've always called him Carrie Elwes.
That's Carrie Elwes. That's how I always said his name.
They were going to be considered for Jack Sparrow if they went the direct to DVD route.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm glad they went the theatrical way. I could see McConaughey as Sparrow, but that would be about it. Maybe Carrie. I think Carrie could pull off the whimsical part of it.
Yeah. It's the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah. But I think Depp is probably the best blend of McConaughey and Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Because I think, McConaughey could definitely pull off the cool factor of it, but and then Carrey could pull off kind of like the more maniacal stuff, the weird oddball stuff. So I think they did all right. This was also kind of interesting that the role of Will Turner came down to Orlando Bloom or Heath Ledger.
Okay.
And Orlando Bloom got the role largely in part because he was part of the Lord of the Rings film series at the time. Which,
I
of course,
think that was a good bet on Disney's part, yeah.
And they released the first trailer for Curse of the Black Pearl on prints of the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. They capitalized on that crowd by...
Yeah.
Disney chairman Michael Eisner, who was the chairman at the time, he's not the chairman now, almost shut production down after the failure of Disney's Country Bears film, which was based on the Disney theme park attraction, the Country Bears Jamboree. He changed his mind, though, after he'd seen a working print of this movie and decided to go forward with it. So good call, Michael Eisner. Made a shitload of money after this. We did say that the Pirates of the Caribbean film franchise is the 10th highest grossing film franchise of all time. And the last one is I'm bringing in a little bit of my heavy metal fandom into this. The British metal band Bring Me the Horizon takes their name from they paraphrase the Jack Sparrow line, "Now bring me that horizon."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's where they got that from. So I thought that was a kind of a cool little tidbit.
That is cool. I mean, that actually goes into one of mine where I was going to say that was an improvised line, but, that's cool that an improvised line by Jack Sparrow became that.
And for those of you who don't listen, Bring Me the Horizon's a fairly big, under 45 heavy metal band, because it seems like that genre is relying on older acts. So I thought that was kind of a cool little tidbit for you kids out there.
Yep.
So what do you got for us, Adam?
So I have a few fun facts, but nothing as insightful as yours, I don't think. More of what happened in the movie.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I like bringing you on here, is because you bring all the technical shit that, like, honestly, like, okay, that'd be kind of cool, but I don't find it to be that interesting. I always like the backstage, like the casting stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's why we work well together, though.
Yeah, you do all the casting things. I do all the technical things, and then together we make a super movie guru.
Well, you're like,
even though
you're like it's like Entertainment Weekly meets Fangoria, and that's where we come together.
All right. So, yeah, a couple of mine were like Johnny Depp's improvised lines, like Savvy was improvised, and he would do it after he, set a plan or asked a question as like, hey, do you understand, what I'm saying? It kind of just goes with the whole motif that he had going for him, the Jack Sparrow character that he created. He improvised lines like the whole obsession with eunuchs. I think there's like one or two times where he like calls somebody a eunuch or asks if they're a eunuch, and that was improvised as well.
I had to look up the meaning of that word too.
I think I did too when I first heard it. I think I first heard it from this film, maybe a little bit sooner, but I'm not sure.
Well, I hope you didn't have to use a dictionary, because back in 2003, like I didn't have like a dictionary readily handy on like in the palm of my hand. I would have had to have gone and either booted up my computer or actually read a dictionary.
Well, see, like I said, I was in high school at the time, so I think my mom had one on a bookshelf, and then I also had one available to me at school. So I had a way to get on into the dictionary and figure out what words were.
That's one of the things I love about modern technologies. Like I don't have to go get a gigantic fucking book and film through the E's until I find it. And I probably would have misspelled it anyways.
Yeah, that was me. Half the time I was looking up anything in the dictionary, I didn't know how to spell anything. At least autocorrect, it serves me well on the phone when I'm trying to look up a word.
It's like, why is it eunuch under UN? I cannot find it in here anywhere. And I didn't know how to even spell it till today.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't sound like it starts with an E.
No, I would have never guessed it. So I'd have gotten frustrated and thrown the book and probably broken something. Fuck this shit.
Let's see here. Eunuchs and stuff. Yeah, that was cool. There's a scene in the movie where Elizabeth Swann falls off the tower, fortress. I don't know what it is. And the coin calls out to the Black Pearl and the crew of the Black Pearl. And then if you're, looking around for anything cool during those scenes, like I am when I'm looking for hidden Mickeys in Disney movies, there is a cloud formation that looks like a hand grabbing at Port Royal. And it's just a giant hand in the sky as she's falling.
Mm-hmm. Is that supposed to be Mickey Mouse?
No, I think it's like a creepy pirate hand.
Oh, okay.
Like
when you said something about Mickey Mouse, like Easter eggs, I thought like that's supposed to be Mickey Mouse's hand.
Oh yeah, no. There are plenty of hidden Mickeys in Pirates of the Caribbean, but yeah, that's not one of them. Like I think there's a couple of different times when you can see like cannonballs in the shape of a Mickey head, that sort of thing. But Disney likes to do that on purpose. And then during the scene where Will is waking up after getting knocked out in Port Royal, kind of at the beginning of the movie, you can see some people in the background as he's waking up. And if you look closely enough, there's a little girl sweeping off a porch behind him. And that is the same actress that plays young Elizabeth Swann at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the three main characters, don't know if anybody picked up on this just because they're, into birds or whatnot, but Jack Sparrow, Elizabeth Swann, and William Turner are all named after birds. The sparrow tattoo and everything on Johnny Depp was fake, and he got a real tattoo in honor of his son Jack. And they also had to kind of like blot out some of his tattoos too, with like charcoal and dirt and things when they were getting his makeup done. Which brings me into one of my other facts is during uh, the makeup portion of the day, Johnny Depp and his makeup artist would create a scab on his jawline and would make it grow bigger and bigger as the production went on, and they did that as kind of like an inside joke. And then my last tidbit, again, is a hidden Mickey. If you look at the last cannon shot during the Black Pearl siege on the town at the beginning, the smoke billows in the night sky of that cannon shot turn into a Mickey Mouse.
Oh, see, there's the Easter egg, the Mickey Mouse Easter egg.
Yeah.
At least one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to go back real quick when you said that Will, Jack, and Elizabeth are named after birds. Now, I know Sparrow, obviously a bird. Swan, obviously a bird, but I don't get the Will Turner one.
It's a tern. Arctic tern.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a type of bird.
Okay. Never fucking heard of it.
The only reason I know that it's bird and that's what it's called is the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they do this thing on there where they're doing song styles. I think it's the name of the game, and they're doing different genres of music. And Ryan Stiles, one of the actors on there, says that, "Hey, Colin, what's the sound a crow makes?" And Colin's like, "I don't know, what are you getting at?" And he's like, "Ska, ska." And then they go back and Colin's like, "What sound does an Arctic tern make?"
Oh, that's such a good show. I love the U.S. version of it. I remember it always was Whose Line Is It Anyway? And then you got the Drew Carey show right afterward, which I was a huge fan of too.
Yeah.
Bummed out though, you can't find it on streaming anywhere. No one has that available to watch as part of their arsenal.
Yeah, it's on. What is it on? It was on HBO. The entire series.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. As far as I know, it's still on there. And then they might have gotten rid of it, but it was on the CW app as well.
Oh, okay. I don't trust David Zasloff, so he probably took it off.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
It is not available anywhere right now.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
It was on HBO Max when it was still HBO Max.
Yeah. Found that out by using the Just Watch app. For anyone that wants to watch the movies that we talk about, download the Just Watch app. Find anything, any movie, any television show, you can find out where it's streaming at. Just Watch, download it where you get your app for your phone. So that's my free plug of the day. Subway and Just Watch, sponsor the show. We got you.
Yep.
We got you, boo.
A little bit of money.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just watch a little bit of money.
Just enough for us to quit our jobs and we could do this full time. That's all we ask.
I'll talk about Just Watch all day long if they will pay me enough to quit my job.
Just a modest fee. I don't need to be I don't need to be amongst the elite. Just enough to quit my job. Just pay the bills, put some food on the table, maybe enjoy life a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it. Not asking for much. Come on, guys. The next category we got is the highlight reel. This is the category where we give our favorite scenes of the movie or the scene of the movie that you would introduce to someone that's never seen this movie before to sell them on the movie. So the demo reel, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's the introduction to Jack Sparrow. That's my favorite scene in the movie.
That's a really good one, especially because of how they frame the shot.
Yeah.
The gag afterwards.
Yeah, because they frame the shot. It's Jack Sparrow. It looks like he's atop the ship. You get the rousing Hans Zimmer was the one that scored this movie, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, it
right.
sounded like him. I never paid attention to it. You get the rousing Hans Zimmer score, has the sun kind of peeking out from behind him. Just looks like, all right, here's this badass pirate coming in, and then as they take the camera back, you start to notice that Jack Sparrow's ship is sinking.
Yeah.
And when he finally gets to the port or the dock, basically his ship is underwater and he's like barely hanging on by like, he's like on one of the I'm not a very good with nautical terms, so I forgive me if I call these like really stupid names, but like where the sails are located.
The top of the mast.
Thank you,
On the
Adam.
top of the mast.
Thank you. And that's another reason why I brought you on tonight's episode is because you seem like a gentleman that knows his way around a boat.
Spoiler alert, I don't. If you get me on a boat, we're stranded.
Well,
Sorry.
Fuck, note to self. We get a boat. If Subway and Just Watch come through with the sponsorship money, you can rest assured we're not buying a boat with it. Unless we get Captain Ron as our captain. But that's another movie for another time. But yeah, that's my favorite scene just because it kind of shows you what kind of character you're in store for the rest of the movie, Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that scene a lot. That was on my list as well.
I also dug like the final act. Just really loved like the whole I like in these era movies where there's a fight on a boat.
Yeah.
Where there's like sword fighting and like gunfire on a boat. I always dig that. So I really enjoyed that sequence as well. And of course, yeah, like you get the really cool the crew of the Black Pearl underwater as skeletons to attack Norrington's crew. And then, of course, you find out that Jack Sparrow is also cursed, so he's kind of a skeleton too, which I will say it didn't make a lot of sense to me watching it back today. It's like the whole movie, he's been exposed to the same shit that the rest of them have, but yet he doesn't reveal himself to be a skeleton until this part of the movie.
Well, that's because he doesn't take any coins from the chest until the very end.
Oh, so that's what happens is they have to take...
Yeah, you have to take a coin from the chest to become a skeleton. And so he palms one at the very end before he fights Barbossa. They actually do a slow motion shot of him like sticking it up his sleeve.
Okay, well that is why I need to just be able to fight through sleep and just watch these movies in one setting. Because when I resumed this for the third time was right after that. Because I watched like the last 20 minutes of it yesterday. So that's what I get for not paying attention. And it had been a while since I had not seen it. So thanks, Adam. Another reason why you're on the show is because you correct me on my stupid mistakes. But
I mean, you fell asleep. It's all right.
Because I'm old. But yeah, that's my favorite sequence of the movie is the introduction to Jack. What's yours, man?
Yeah, I liked the final fight too. I liked the introduction to Jack. My favorite though probably has to be the final sequence, starting with them walking underwater. Just because you get that climactic battle scene, you get all the swashbuckling of literally everyone, and I was going to say the ship-to-ship battle they had in the middle, kind of where they're fighting over the coin, and the monkey steals the coin, and they run out the guns and that sort of thing. I had that scene ruined for me though from the internet because I forget what YouTube channel it was, like Insider or Wired or somebody brought a naval battle expert to go like break down these different movies' naval battles and how accurate they were. And he sits there and says, like, yeah, you don't get that close to each other to swing from ship to ship. That's a really good way to get shot. Mm-hmm. You don't go take somebody's ship. You don't leave your ship because then that leaves them, vulnerable to take your ship. And I'm like, well, that just ruins the whole like ship to ship battle movie thing for me. So
yeah, was this MythBusters that did that?
No, it was a YouTube channel. I forget what it was.
Because I know MythBusters. Mythbusters is good at doing that. They'll fucking ruin like just the cool things in movies. Like, oh, you can't really do that. Iron Man suit can never happen.
Yeah, or shooting a lot to break it. Like that apparently is not a thing. Like you can't do that.
Well, what I say to this YouTube video is like, dude, like I don't want to see like two ships just like firing like cannons at one another from like a long distance. Like I want to see like a motherfucker swing from one ship to another to like engage in sword fighting. That's like the whole point of a fucking pirate movie.
Yeah, it is. And like he goes on to say how stupid it is to be that close to one another and try and swing onto the other ship. Like, yeah, you're not wrong, guy, but it looks cool, so shut up.
Yeah, he's stupid for being a fucking buzzkill.
That's my second favorite, but my favorite has to be the end sequence. And they're all fighting on the ship. They ambush them in the middle of the night. And, when I don't even know what he is, like a mayor or what is he? He's like the mayor of Port Royal. I don't know what they call him in British terms, but where he pulls out the drawer and there's a severed arm in there and he almost throws up.
Oh, are you talking about the Jonathan Pryce character?
Yeah.
I don't know what his official title is, but I'm looking it up, so keep talking.
I like the whole portion inside of the treasure cove where the guy with the bombs is trying to blow them up, and then they like skewer them together and then like stick the bomb inside of him when he's a skeleton, and then push him away from the moonlight, and then he can't get it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I did dig that sequence. Oh, by the way, he is a governor.
Governor, okay.
Yeah, and according to the Wikipedia, Jonathan Pryce was the third actor considered for that. Tom Wilkinson was negotiating to play the part, and then Brian Cox turned the role down because he didn't want to work with Johnny Depp.
Really?
Yeah, it says right here. It says Brian Cox turned down the role as he didn't want to work with Depp, but the role went to Pryce, whom Depp idolized.
Okay.
I would have loved Brian Cox in this because I'm a huge fan of that dude.
Oh man, after watching Succession, I'm a even bigger fan of him. I liked him in like, stuff like Bourne and Jenna made me watch Frasier and he's in that.
He's also the McDonald's guy. He does the voiceover for McDonald's stuff.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. At least he was for a while. I don't know if he still is or not, but he was doing McDonald's commercials for a while too.
See, the man is a man of many talents. He could have been a governor.
Yeah, that would have been so cool to see him in that. I think we can give the best sequence of the movie to the final act. Because we both were in agreements that we both had that on our list of favorite scenes. So
yeah,
but
okay,
yeah, the Jack Sparrow intro is pretty cool. But I would give that that would be the silver medal.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then close third is the naval battle in the middle of the movie.
Mm-hmm. I also dug the when they're about to hang him at the end.
Oh yeah, that was really cool too.
Although I don't understand Will Turner's Three Musketeers hat.
Yeah,
it takes you out of it for a minute.
I do like how he points it out too at the very end. It's like, nice hat, and then he just jumps.
The next category is the Paul Walker I Said Forget About a Cuh award for the most memorable line, good or bad, of the movie. We were discussing this before the show that I don't think there's really a line from the movie that is incredibly memorable, because I think the character of Jack Sparrow himself is more of a pop culture icon than anything he says.
Agreed.
Which, I mean, honestly, he's going to be the character that I would think that has the most quotable dialogue. But I think the winner of this award is the person, I don't know who the actor is, but he says that's the best pirate I've ever seen. Simply because it created it's a viral sensation where they would take that clip and then they would say that that's the best pirate I've ever seen, and then they would follow with just an incredibly epic crash of some kind, whether it was a boat or a car or a bicycle or something, like just somebody being really fucking stupid and crashing something. And
it's on the same level of like Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne, and then it's nowhere near that.
Yeah, I think that would be my nominee simply because that line has lived on through the internet and the incredible world of memes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's probably it for me as well. There's a couple of different lines that are like, funny, like, oh, and then they made me their chief, and then she like falls in the water, or like I was talking about before we started recording, and I think the most memorable line for me, anyways, was when Captain Barbossa says, "You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one." It wasn't even Johnny Depp that said it, so. But I'm cool with giving it to that's the best pirate I've ever seen, for sure.
Yeah, because I didn't even know that was a thing until my my son will sometimes ask me to watch. There's something on YouTube. It's called "Try Not to Laugh" videos, where they play like really funny clips, and basically you have to try not to laugh at them. And he showed me this one where it's like, that's the best pirate I've ever seen, and it's like they play that dun 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 dun, dun, and it's like somebody crashing a boat into a pier. And I fucking lost it, and then I forgot all about that until right before we went on, and you had mentioned something about it, and like, oh fuck, they had memes for that. So yeah, I think that's got to be the winner, because to this day it's still incredibly funny. It's aged beautifully.
It has.
So yeah, we're giving it to that one. I don't know who the actor is that says that line. No disrespect, but I think he's the guy that. I think he's on the. Now this is a thing that I have trouble with when I watch these movies. I lost track of what boat is what, because they look pretty much the same. But is it the boat? Is it the Interceptor that they're on? For the last half,
Interceptor is the very last one that they steal. The Dauntless is the second best in the fleet, and they steal that one first. So they're going after it in the Interceptor, and then they make that the diversion and swap over to the Interceptor.
Mm-hmm. So the Interceptor is the one that they're in during the last act,
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It just, like trying to keep track of these fucking boats is like trying to keep track of the Transformers and the Transformers movies. They look exactly the same. And outside of fucking Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, I don't know who the hell is who.
Yeah, and the only reason that you know what the Black Pearl is because it's got the black sails.
The Black Pearl. That was a horrible. Johnny Depp. He says the Black Pearl like an 8-year-old kid.
He does, yeah. Stop throwing hose in my ship.
The McLovin Award for the most impactful supporting performance of the movie. Kind of curious to hear who your nominee is.
So mine is gonna be I don't remember the actor's name, but the guy that played Mr. Gibbs.
Oh, really? Kevin McNally?
Yeah,
McNally?
That's probably it.
It is. That's who it is. The only reason I know that because he's mine too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
I love Mr. Gibbs. He's like, outside of Jack, he's my favorite character in these movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's kind of like the audience's guide to the pirate code.
Yeah.
He's like the Siri of the pirate code. Like he kind of explains like what the fuck these pirate codes are. And he almost sticks to it too much to a T, because he kind of fucks over Jack at a couple points of the movie. But I don't know why. I always like that character.
I mean, he's really laid back too. He's kind of a piratey pirate, but he's also like at the beginning, he's a stand-up citizen. He's on like the Interceptor or whatever boat that is at the beginning, with the British people. And then the next time we see him, he's in like a a pig pen, literally in a pig pen, and he gets splashed with water, and then he goes to a bar, and he's the most piratey pirate you've ever seen.
Yeah, I commend any actor that will sleep in a pig pen with an actual live
Yeah.
pig. But yeah, I think without that character though, you kind of get lost on like why certain things happen during the movie, and he just kind of is there
Yeah.
to explain it for you. He's kind of like
He does
what was that internet thing? It was kind of like Google before Google. It was Ask Jeeves.
at Jeeves. Yeah, he's Jeeves.
Yeah,
He's the pirate Jeeves.
yeah. R.
He does so in such a fun way too. He's like deadpan and serious about things, but like in a piratey way, and it comes off as funny half the time too.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of
Like when
people
he's
that are.
explaining how.
I know a lot of
Go
people are
ahead.
going to listen to the show are going to say that they liked the two members of Barbossa's crew. Like one of them is he played a creepy character on an episode of Seinfeld, and then the other guy was his name's Mackenzie Crook. He played the Dwight Schrute character on the British version of The Office, the guy that has the eye that chronically falls out.
Yeah.
I just find them two characters annoying, and I wish they would have been killed.
Oh yeah, yeah. The like pretending to read the Bible's a lie, and then you can get a new eye that's made of glass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a lot of people that would probably say, "Oh, it's got to be them two," but yeah,
No, see if it were anyone else, like I would say Jeffrey Rush, but he's too much of a star, and he's actually like in the marquee, so I don't think he would count. Other than that, like yeah, there's no real good supporting actors.
that actor's name is with Mackenzie Crook. His name is Lee Ehrenberg, and he played the guy that stole the parking spots in Seinfeld, an old Seinfeld episode.
Yep.
But yeah, don't care for those characters. I also don't like the two British officers that I could during the introduction of Jack Sparrow. They kind of do that Disney thing where they kind of like talk their way out of it. Like they talk so much they kind of avoid the situation at hand.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that movie trope at all, where these two guys
Yeah,
are
where,
bumbling and they have an argument like, oh, well, fuck, the guy that we're supposed to prevent from leaving here is gone because we can't shut up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in total agreement. Kevin McNally, Mr. Gibbs, our definite winner. And I guess he is one of it's Johnny Depp and him, I believe, are the only two actors to be in all 5 of the movies.
Yeah. Jeffrey Rush.
Was Jeffrey
Yeah,
Rush
Jeffrey
in
Rush.
5?
Yeah, he was in 5. He was the main focus of 5 because it was his spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. I guess it's really old. His daughter is like the
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess it makes sense because he does appear at the end of 2 and he's in the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those 3, only 3 that are in all of them.
The next award, we don't bust this one out often, but I do have a candidate for this. I'm calling this one the Welcome to Dumpsville Population U Award for the performer that you would like to recast in this movie. And for me, I would like to recast the Norrington character, the Commodore Norrington. I think Jack Davenport, fine actor, but he comes across as extremely wooden in this movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it would have been nice to have somebody with a little bit more cachet. Like I was thinking, I'm probably completely out in left field here, and there's no fucking way, and it probably wouldn't even match. But I would say Colin Firth. I would like to have seen him because I think that's
Okay.
I think this is before he wins Best Actor Oscar for the King's Speech.
King's Speech. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that happening.
And he's he's known enough to where he could be in a role like this, but he's not like so well known that like he kind of overshadows everybody else when he's in a scene with them. So that would be the guy. I think he would have been a little bit better in this than Jack Davenport.
Okay. I don't have any qualms with any of the actors. I don't really have a recast, but since we were talking about it earlier, Governor Swan would be better played by Brian Cox for
Yeah,
sure.
if I would have
That'd be cool.
known, if I would have known that Brian Cox was up for this role, definitely. And as a matter of fact, I'm changing my vote. Jonathan Pryce, get the fuck out of here. Brian Cox, you're in.
Excellent.
Yeah, and plus it would have been nice to hear a fuck off.
Man, he would have been like, I don't know if I could see him as like a skittish governor that isn't like, attuned to violence or anything like that.
He typically
like-
plays a hard ass in most stuff he's in, but have you ever seen Deadwood?
Yeah.
He
yeah,
plays an actor in Deadwood, and he's kind of more on the whimsical side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the character he's playing is meant to be gay. That's kind of the vibes he gives off, but they never really say it in the show, so I don't know. I'm not assuming.
Yeah.
But he kind of comes off as very eccentric and flamboyant. He's not really that tough, gruff Brian Cox that we usually see in movies, so I think he could have pulled it off.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing with Jonathan Pryce. It's just I like Brian Cox better.
Same.
So yeah, that's who we're giving it to. You're spared,
Okay.
Jack Davenport.
Colin Firth would have been good though.
Yeah, I do like the Colin Firth thing because it's like I said, this is before he becomes like. Yeah, this is well before the Kingsman. This is before the King's Speech. I think this is even before Bridget Jones's Diary, which I think that's the movie he becomes kind of a big deal for American audiences. Because
I think he was
him and
also in Love Actually as well. Around.
oh
that
no,
time.
he was in Bridget Jones's Diary. That's 2001. So,
Oh, okay.
but even then, I think he's the third lead. That's Renee Zellweger, Hugh Grant, then Colin Firth. So I think he still could have pulled it off. I think he just would have had his name probably on that, like right above or right below Jonathan Pryce. So
Yeah.
I think it still could have worked. And you know what? If it doesn't, fuck it. It's our movie. It's our show. So we're going to do whatever we want.
Right.
I know we have the Unsolved Mysteries category of the movie. There's really nothing that I had questions for. You pretty much answered it for me with why did he turn into a skeleton? But that's not really an unsolved mystery. That's me just falling asleep behind the wheel, not paying attention. Because I happened to, when I was rewinding it back to where I left off, I was like, oh, that's fucking close enough.
Yep.
And I missed a key. I guess apparently I missed a very key component of the movie. But Detective Adam came through in the clutch. Before we wrap this up, the final category is the Hall of Fame. I have a series of categories for this particular movie, and I'm just curious to see from you whether this falls into this particular category's Hall of Fame. So, would Pirates of the Caribbean be in the Johnny Depp movie Hall of Fame?
Oh, by far.
Yeah. I think this is
even number one.
Yeah, this is the first ballot Hall of Famer. I think this is the one role that he's most known for, even above Edward Scissorhands, Sweeney Todd, the Mad Hatter. It's definitely Jack Sparrow. So yeah, I think this is a first ballot Johnny Depp Hall of Famer. What about pirate movies?
Probably also number one.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think for this, anybody under 50, really, this is probably the biggest pirate movie that there is by far. You have to go back to like pre-1960, I think, to really find a worthwhile pirate movie, at least something on this level of like notoriety.
Yeah. Oh, like I said before, the last pirate movie I remember watching it was even a Disney movie was Blackbeard's Ghost. And that's just like one of those goofy Disney live action movies.
Yeah, I guess you could shoehorn something like Waterworld as a pirate movie because it kind of does take place on the water.
It's not
But
though.
it's not really a pirate. I don't think it's. I wouldn't consider it a
Yeah.
pirate movie.
And we're not also counting modern pirates, Somalian pirates or other pirates.
No, because we'd have to put Captain Phillips into that.
Yeah.
Captain Ron has pirates in it too, I think.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which,
Um,
damn, we'd need to do a fucking Captain Ron episode now. That's the second time I've mentioned him in there today.
I mean, Dodgeball has a pirate in it, but not a real one.
Yeah, Steve the pirate. Maybe that's a better question for better pirate, Jack Sparrow or Steve the pirate. What about theme park based movies? We don't have a lot of these, so I guess
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see, Pirates, got Haunted Mansion, Country Bears.
Well, we've had 2 Haunted Mansion movies.
Yeah.
There's the Pirates of the Caribbean and there's Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, yeah.
So yeah, I think this one is easily a top of those.
Oh, for sure. Trying to think of other theme park related rides, or related movies. The only thing I can really think of is there was a book based off of The Beast in Paramount's Kings Island, but that doesn't really count. So yeah, it's all Disney rides.
Yeah.
Not even Universal. Universal doesn't do movies based off their rides either.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I think Universal's not quite the iconic theme park that.
Yeah.
And plus, a lot of their stuff's already based on movie properties, anyways.
True.
Oh, but yeah, do you have any anything you want to add to the Hall of Fame category?
Let's see. No, I don't think so. Nothing that I can think of. I'm sure I'll think of it after we're done recording, and then I'll kick myself later. But
that's how it always goes for me too. Well, hey man, this was awesome having you on. Thanks to all you guys and gals for voting for Pirates of the Caribbean. Curse of Black Pearl is kind of a cool trip down memory lane from 2003. It doesn't really seem like that long ago until you sit and think about it for a minute. Like, fuck, that was 20 years ago. Back in the days of yore when to watch a movie you had to go to a store to borrow it or buy it outright or hope for it to come on TV.
Back when I think Netflix was starting to mail out DVDs.
Yeah, I think this is about that time. Because I think I got it like a year or so after.
That's insanity to me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even fathom how far we've come in the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, now anybody wants to watch this movie, all you got to do is just go on your TV and hit a button that's right there for you.
Man.
What a time to be alive.
I don't know how good they had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I know back in the day, like if I didn't own this movie, I had to go check out the video store. If they didn't have it, I was just shit out of luck. You're just gonna have to wait for it to come back in, dude. Well, unless you went to Blockbuster, then I guarantee you they would have had like 300 copies of Pirates of the Caribbean. It would have been their guaranteed in stock title.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they would always have a crap ton of the ones that did really well.
See, I never had to worry about that because if it was one of those titles, I probably would have bought it. So there was no need for me to rush out and rent it. The only time that was different is when Saw 2 had come out. And I had went to Blockbuster and I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm going in. I'm going to watch these Saw movies to see what it's about. And handed Saw 1 and Saw 2 to the clerk and he's checking me out. And the guy says, oh, you haven't seen the Saw movies yet? I'm like, no, this is the first time seeing it. He goes, son, you ain't lived. And I was
like, ain't lived until he's been called.
All right, well, it's like, all right, well, get busy living then, I guess. I'm gonna keep this an extra night. But yeah, it was a good time though, man. I like doing these movie episodes. Maybe we'll start doing more of them.
Okay, yeah. Well, we've obviously got a list of movies we got to get done too. So
I've got 400 plus movies. on here, and I completely forgot after we put those movies up for vote that National Lampoon's Vacation turns 40 this year.
Oh, wow.
So I could have put that one up for selection too. And there was also In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood. That was up. The Fugitive just celebrated an anniversary, but we've already done The Fugitive, so.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Well,
we could have redid
we
that
can
one
do
too.
all
Just
those
called it
movies.
the Hen House Edition, Fugitive Part 2.
Yeah, we could have done an anniversary episode for the anniversary.
Yeah, or we could have just done the Refugitive U.S. Marshals. But that probably would have just thrown people off. Are they doing The Fugitive or U.S. Marshals? And no, I would never do U.S. Marshals. That movie's not any good. But Adam, it's fun as always. I'm glad you're feeling better. Before we wrap this up, Subway, we haven't forgot about you. Hit us up. And anybody can hit us up too. You can follow us on our socials. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on the Threads, the brand new Threads app that you can find by the folks from Facebook and Instagram. Shoot us an email at the couchbrotatopodcast at gmail.com. Hit us up. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know any show ideas, thoughts on prior episodes. We'd love to hear from you. If you like what we're doing here on the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. Helps us get discovered in those search results. So we do appreciate that as well. And that'll do it for this week. So until next Tuesday. Well, no, it'll probably be Thursday because this is the second episode of the week. So we're going to do it Thursday. We'll drop a new episode Thursday. So until Thursday, we will talk to you guys later.